Hello, hello, and great job everyone on our intro speeches. We're moving along to preparing for speech number 2, which is a process speech. So we're just going to talk a little bit about some things to remember and keep in mind as you are preparing. So for this assignment, each student will prepare, rehearse, and present a brief process speech. Students should remember to dress professionally on speech day. And again, remember we're trying to find that good speaking space where we can preferably stand up and have some good lighting and find a place to set our technology and stuff like that. So be thinking through where you might be able to set yourself up to present. The purpose of the assignment is to give students an opportunity to share and or demonstrate the steps to completing a process or procedure, focusing on a chronological organizational pattern. And guys, this is key. So at the top of your paper now, if you see this example here, you're also always going to list your organizational method or your organizational pattern. And here everyone's for speech number 2 is chronological. For our following outlines, you'll be able to choose between a couple of patterns, but again, we're in the building process, right? So we are all applying now an organizational pattern, and we're focusing on chronological. So the key with chronological is that chronological organization is based on a time or sequence where points must be presented in a specific order. So for instance, you can't bake the cookies before you have made the cookies, right? Following a recipe is a procedure. So you have to put things in order. So main point 3 can't come before main point 1. It would not make sense. Main point 2 can't come before main point 1. Main point 1 couldn't possibly be done last. Those kinds of things. Okay, so speeches explaining how something works, how something is done, or how something is made fit the assignment well. Students should choose to present on topics and processes for which they are highly familiar and may even consider themselves an expert, as research of any kind is not expected nor needed for this assignment. So think about something you're really good at. Think about something that you do a lot that other people might not necessarily know how to do. So topics to avoid are like how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We can all figure that out, okay? So tackle something a little bit more challenging. I've had things like how to wax a snowboard. I've had things like lots of baking, how to bake something, how to make a certain recipe. How to make mac and cheese is not a good speech. Okay, so be thinking, and when I took public speaking, I did how to throw a curveball in fast pitch softball. So thinking about those kinds of things, I have all that background in playing softballs for so many years and even coaching a little bit. So that's what I did for mine, how to throw a curveball in fast pitch. Kind of cool. Think about things that you're passionate about and can talk easily about. Time is limited and topics should be relatively simple. I have a typo there. Try to choose a topic of interest to the class rather than something they likely know, which is what we just talked about. And there's a couple more examples there. So please turn in a copy of a typed preparation outline following the guidelines presented in class prior to speaking. So here we go. These are what we need to follow. So we need to have complete declarative sentences. We need to have this central idea included in our introduction here. We need to have the organizational pattern. We need to have a good measurable verb here in the specific purpose. We need to have some signposting. Remember, this signpost both reviews this point and previews this point. That's that transitional signpost, right? And noticing here we have capital letters. Things are indented, right? Paying attention to all of that and noting you always have to have at least 2 subpoints to support an overall main point. All of these are in complete declarative sentences. Try not to start with question words like how, what, when, where, why. Okay, start here. All right, other things. Focus on an extemporaneous delivery, which is conversational rather than memorized or read. Connect to your audience through eye contact and avoid distracting vocal or physical behaviors. And that's kind of trying to find a quiet background as well for you guys. You'll have 2 to 4 minutes, so remember if you go over 4 minutes, whatever is said after 4 minutes cannot be counted into your grade, so you may lose conclusion points or other points. And you'll also be deducted for time, so really practicing that time limit there, deducted for time if you're under as well. Visual aids are optional. We can share our screen in Zoom. You don't have to have them though, so if it helps you present your procedure, go ahead and do that. You can also have little props, whatever you need. Okay, this is a 50-point assignment, and your outline will make up 20% of your grade. So we're moving from 20 to 50%. So that other 80% of your grade for this one will be delivery. Okay, so we have our rubric down here. You can kind of see how the points are broken down. It's out of 100, but I divide that at the end into that 50 points, okay? Other things, we need to submit our outlines prior to speaking in the Dropbox, okay? So just the Dropbox here, it may or may not be week 7 for you depending on your class. All right, critiques. You will also have a critique of classmates during this session, so you'll need to be taking notes on a classmate, and I will talk a lot more about that when we're online together. And you're also going to be doing a self-critique, so I will record our session and you can go back and watch yourself, which is a little nerve-wracking, I know, but it usually helps students a lot to kind of see their little ticks and quirks. Okay, guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to shoot me a quick email, and I will respond quickly, and I'm happy to look at outline drafts as well, as long as you give me a bit of time before your speaking day. All right, I will see you soon, guys. Happy preparing.